This is Advancing Your Business, Your People, and Your Legacy podcast, where we discuss all things that impact the growth, value, and sustainability of privately held businesses. This podcast is produced by the Rawls Group, Business Succession Planners, and I am Kendall Rawls, your moderator. In this series, focused on Where Are All the Leaders, Aicha Bascaro of the American Franchise Academy and Jeff Bannon of the Rawls Group will tackle unique challenges multi-unit franchisees face in recruiting, developing, and retaining top talent. This series covers a variety of discussion topics, so after you finish this installment, be sure to check back in to listen to the remainder of the conversation. Here we go. So Aicha, in terms of the staying or quitting your boss, how do you encourage franchise owners to ensure that they are getting the knowledge, skills, and the coaching they need to be themselves a great leader and to develop their own leaders?
Yeah, first of all, I would say I think it all starts before they even become a franchisee, right? When you become a franchisee or a business owner in general, you're saying yes to being a leader of people, because I don't know many franchises that you can run it, be successful, and you'll be the only one. You're always going to have or need people to help operate whatever business you have. And so understanding that, be able to educate yourself through either books and practice, also through doing the job before you become a franchisee, but work in that franchise and understand what it takes to make that happen. Also becoming, being in the franchise world, I mentioned before, you are a part of a network of other franchisees and leaders, and learning from them is going to be very crucial to find out what works for them. The sharing of best practices, I know in all the brands that I worked with, was a very important thing that we focused on. As a matter of fact, I was in charge of it in 2 brands, of having a way to capture best practices from franchisees and find ways for franchisees to be able to learn from other franchisees. So creating the opportunity where they can come and learn from those top 5% franchisees. So that's very important. So not only you develop yourself and find ways to do it through, education, books, blogs, a podcast like this, but also reaching out to your fellow franchisees and getting all the information you can from them or how it works for them and learning from them. But of course, one of the things that I also suggest, right, is hire a business coach, somebody that has done it, been there, done that, and have them teach you how to be and become that leader that you need to be for your organization. And I think that we don't talk enough about that. And there are people out there that can do that. That's one of the things that I do with my clients is, teach them the art of leadership and what specifically it means and what are the actions, so that they are able to learn if they don't know, if they're not clear, or create a structure in which they can start implementing it, and then give them guidance along the way on, and brainstorming things that they encounter. I think that is important. And by the way, that leadership skill, it is ongoing, because who the people were, 20, 30 years ago, that's not the same employees of today. And so that learning how to be a leader is an, ongoing education. I always tell people that even though I have written about leadership and teach leadership, I'm still a student of leadership, because that changes constantly. And so being aware of that and reaching out to resources and people that can help you become better at it is the way to be able to get there and continue to get there as you continue to be a leader in your organization.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff, what about from your perspective?
In terms of franchise owners, ensuring that they have the knowledge, skills, and trust to develop their leaders. It goes back to something I said earlier. I think that some owners you simply don't want to take the time to do it, and other owners who are committed to doing it would love to get engaged. Now, that doesn't mean they're all good teachers. Those who want to get engaged doing it are good coaches. A lot of them have a lot of industry knowledge, but communicating that knowledge in a way that's manageable is can be a difficult task, and it can be challenging at best sometimes. So, I remember hearing when I was back playing baseball years ago, and hearing Rafael Palmeiro, who's a great hitter, take the time to explain how to hit. And he's a very he's an excellent big league hitter, and I couldn't wait to hear what he had to say. And he said, well, you put your feet here and you put your hands here, and then when the pitcher throws a ball, you do this. And he showed. And I went, well, that's wonderful, but what in the heck is this? And I think a lot of business owners fall in that category where they're entrepreneurs. They brought themselves up. They took risks. They had an instinct to get where they are today. And the question is, are those traits transferable, or do they have the ability to communicate those traits to try to replicate themselves? And therein lies the challenge. So in the rare occasion when you do have someone who does have the ability to communicate effectively what it's going to take, and the time and the willingness to do it, then wonderful. But for the rest of the world, there's outside help is needed. And whether that's a business coach or, whatever it is, a management training coach, I believe in the development of a curriculum. Now, if an owner has identified someone with some sense of surety that this is the person they'd like to develop, then I believe in developing a curriculum that spells out, here are the timelines of your development that I see happening for you. Here's the education requirements I think you'll need to become a leader. Here's some management training you'll need, and here's some performance benchmarks to ensure that you're on track to do it. Having that outlined is a huge asset to remove any doubt, any type of friction that can arise based on simply not knowing. And you have a basis for accountability when performance doesn't take place. But again, taking the time to develop that is not something I know many business owners want to take the time to do, which is why again I come back to the need for third-party help on those types of things.
Advancing Your Business, Your People, and Your Legacy is produced by the Rawls Group and hosted by me, Kendall Rawls. Thank you to Aicha Bascaro with the American Franchise Academy and Jeff Bannon, a succession planner with the Rawls Group, for their expertise and content contribution to this series. You can hear more of this discussion on the Rawls Group's website at www.rawlsgroup.com. Thanks so much.